up, fellas? Welcome back. So as you saw, we built, I ordered. Guys have to give a little bit of time. Monster clutch, they are a la carte, so they're built to order. These clutches do take, mine took about 2.5 weeks. So I would say just give them 3 weeks, because everything is hand made, assembled, everything test fitted, spec ran. It's all done in-house from start to finish. So when you order clutch, you know ahead of time, because you're gonna need about 2-3 weeks to you know, get the thing made, assembled, built, and shipped out to you. So those of you that don't know, the reason I'm even installing this clutch like I did OJ on my last one, I went with Monster because that clutch was just, it felt really good. It was amazing. It was dialed in, and I can't wait to get back to it. Camaro 6, my manual freaks, you guys know what I'm talking about. The OE clutch, if you've ever had an aftermarket clutch, they're kind of soft. They're kind of, I don't know, it's right on the edge. You know, it's probably like the last little bit as you let out. The ZL1, this one seems to be a little bit better, but OJ, that thing was, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if I interpreted it wrong, or after the thing got broke in, it was really just catching on that last little bit. So it's kind of what made me think that maybe the slave cylinder or something was leaking. Either the friction disc was wearing out or whatever, because it did kind of beat the hell out of that car. So you know, whatever, it is what it is. I replaced the clutch, and I'm happy I did, because it kind of prepped me in order to do this one. So I'm gonna walk down the list here. As you guys saw, the S. So here's the reason I believe that Monster clutch is the best of the best as far as, you know, wanting to stay 3 pedals and climbing horsepower mountain. I called them, I told them exactly what was going on. They told me that they cannot, or you should not, it is actually kind of hard on the clutch if you have like a super durable clutch and not enough power to sustain like that threshold of power level. Somehow it's not good for the clutch. I don't know if it causes premature wear, or if it, I honestly don't know. I was racking my brain, I'm trying to think, but if you guys know, comment below. The reason that I picked them and the reason I chose them, one, well, I didn't get the $150 off like you guys will if you guys act, I think within the next couple weeks, but they did give me $100 off for being a returning customer, which was pretty cool of them. I appreciate that. Thank you, Monster. And the fact of, they said that this clutch, the chassis or the frame, all the little stupid stuff can be taken apart and rebuilt. So yes, I can take this clutch out of the car, send it back into the factory, and they can have the thing upgraded. So I can go from an S all the way up to an R or whatever. And all that can be done for about $1,500–1,600 bucks. Prices change, so call ahead, you know, plan accordingly. But this will take me up to 1,150 rear wheel horsepower, rear wheel torque. And for those of you that do know, there's a couple of you that do, I did put a deposit down, and we are doing heads cam pretty much max effort LT4, and this is pretty much going to be top of the top. I've really sat through and thought of everything that I could bolt, screw, glue to that engine, and yeah, we're putting it on. So the coming video, I've already put down a deposit. I've already got reservations made. We're gonna take this on the road. We're going to be going down to, well, you just have to watch, but we're turning it up. And yes, heads cam. Spoiler, I'm not going for the chop. You lose power on the chop, but it will have a little bit of a chop. Heads cam, and we're gonna be climbing to where stock clutch is gonna break. Now we're gonna do an unboxing. I'm gonna go through everything part by part. I'm gonna explain it. I'm not gonna do an install. Everybody does that. I did that on my old video. If you want, go check that out. It's really straightforward. It's just, you know, like any other clutch, but I'm gonna go through, since I ticked all the boxes except for one, well, 2, but one was a warranty. I'll go through and I'll explain all the components and everything, and I think that's gonna help people out a lot more than just an install video. So let's go. So this is what it looks like when you open the box. You're gonna have everything except for a green envelope. If you get the stickers, your stickers will be in the green envelope, and as well as a packing slip and invoice, and I didn't want to bring that out because it's got my address and all my personal information on there. No surprise. Because you can choose or opt for the 20-pound or the 12-pound flywheel. Yes, I did ask, you know, 15, 16, 1700 horsepower. Yes, this 12-pound ultralight flywheel will handle all power capabilities. So that's really cool, and it's dead scary to think that that little flywheel is going to be able to handle that much power or that clamp load, so without warping or slipping or whatever. So insanity. Really cool nonetheless, because on OJ I put the 20-pound, and on Zozo I'm going 12-pound, and it's on boost. So I'm really hoping the RPM will, I mean, this is gonna cut down dramatically, because the dual mass flywheel that's in it now is really heavy. It's dual mass, so it's essentially two massive components. I can't remember how much the flywheel weighed when we pulled out OJ. You can go back and check that video out. It's got a lot of good information, but I went through and I weighed the components in each thing on a scale. I'm not gonna do that this time. I'm gonna leave it all stacked together, that way it's easier for the shop. But 12 pounds, that's crazy. That's gonna be cool. In the little slot, you're going to find these bolts. You're gonna have a bag of bolts just like this. These are your flywheel bolts. So you're gonna pull the OE bolts out. They did make it very clear to me that everything that is to be assembled, red Loctite, and use a good amount of it. So if you'll notice, like these bolts right here, you can see how that head's really short. So that's made because the stack, because you're going triple disc. So the factory is a twin disc, but so you're losing a lot of it. So the flywheel is gonna slim down, so it's gonna hug up closer to the block. So you need that low profile head. That way you're not snagging anything. So using monster bolts, red Loctite, I'll just work my way around the outer ring of the box. It's gonna be the slave cylinder. You have to put a new slave cylinder in each time. Each one is gonna come with a rubber silicone boot. I can't remember if, I'm only saying this because it's green, and it seems Monster has a theme and they do everything green, even the packing tape, which is really cool. It didn't come on my last box, but it did on this one, so good job, Monster. I thought that was really cool. Now inside this, the factory one has what they call a Barrett release support, and that's basically just helping support when you clutch in and it's compressing. The factory one, which Monster did tell me, does get hot. It will melt over time, and man, this is a huge job. So absolutely, I think that is probably one of the most crucial things on this list. Swing for the aluminum. And what they do is they in-house, they machine their own. And if you want to check to see if you got it, all you have to do is peel this boot back, and all it does is snap in that groove. So you'll be able to see, yes, I did get it. That sprocket looking green aluminum piece, that'll be just black plastic if you didn't get it. So also, this thing is kind of a pain in the ass to put in. I did, if you look real close, there is like a little tiny metal ring. I don't even know. It's so fine, I don't even know if the camera's gonna be able to pick it up. But there is a tiny metal ring on the end. I opted to do it myself last time, which I'm happy I did, just for the experience. But man, it is super, it is delicate. Oh my gosh. $10 to have them do it, and it's just ready to bolt in and go. Worth it. It promised me. $9.99 well spent. So yes. And those of you that are thinking that you're not going to replace this slave cylinder, it's a very good idea, because I believe that this, being the weakest link, because you can see under here is all filled with journals and valleys and grooves where the fluid flows. So this is a lot bigger of a weaker point than the old slave cylinders. You know, a lot of the older style that used to have just like a single rod coming out and pushing a fork. They claim it can do more, but I just see it as a bigger potential for a weak link. But slave cylinder, brand new, you get it. You're gonna need to just put it in. It's literally, you can see 2 bolts, just put it in while you got the transmission out or the engine out. In that corner, the other groove, you're going to get a little baggie, and this is gonna have your elbow for the quick connector, and the quick connector is going to plug into your, can't remember which way it is. It's been a couple years, sorry, forgive me. You're gonna get the feed line for the clutch. So this is gonna go off of a hose, which is a feed line, and then this is your bleeder tool. This is your well, they got a boot cap right there, but that is gonna be where you bleed the clutch from. Now, if you've seen the slave cylinder and where it's at, there's a little notch in the bell housing, and it's pretty much useless because once you have this in the car, I mean, I honestly don't know how you're gonna bleed the clutch. So might be done, might be able to done. There's probably somebody out there that might be able to do it. It's got to be an 11 out of 10 on the pain in the ass scale, but can it be done? Maybe. I'm not interested in that though, because this thing is so far buried inside the transmission. Yeah, which is gonna bring me to one of the parts here in just a little bit. Okay, buried under that baggie is going to be your alignment tool. Every one of these come with it, and I opted not to. Now, give me just a second here and I'll explain. These, it's just like any other standard clutch alignment tool you would get in the box. They do offer a metal one. Now that is for like if you have a race car and the transmission's coming in out a lot. They do recommend that you buy a metal one of these, especially while you're ordering the kit. That way you got to pay shipping on top of it. It might be a good investment, but I'm not at this at this stage. I'm not planning on taking this thing out every week or so. So yeah. And you do get another pilot bearing, which, you know, basically you just dig the old one out and this one sits right in the block. And so that input shaft just pops right in there. So pretty cool. It's good to know that, yeah, this clutch is on the more expensive side, but you really get what you pay for. So they're not cheaping up. Just topping off the list here, I opted for the remote speed bleeder. Now it does have this one-way valve, so I can do this by myself, and this is an extension that comes off and into the engine bay wherever I decide to put it. Might even put it under the car, but very, very cool. Very, very cool. Like I said, once the transmission's back in the car, it's next to impossible to bleed that thing. So this is gonna give me 36 inches of hose, 3 foot of hose, to reroute anywhere in the engine bay that I would like. If I notice something with the clutch getting spongy, do the remote bleeder, and then if you opt $10 more, you can get the speed bleeder, and it's pretty much just a one-way valve. You can just screw this in on the end, and you can do it by yourself, which is key for me. So 10 bucks well spent. Wish I would have known about this when I had my clutch for OJ. So this is money well spent, I promise you. I don't know when they added this in. This has got to be within the last 2 years, I think. What did that represent? I'm having a hard time right now remembering the guy's name at Monster that helps me, but I believe he said that these are like a couple months old. There was a company called TICK, T-I-C-K Performance, and I believe they were in Kentucky or Tennessee, and they used to make shims for this. And basically, one second. So the slave cylinder is going to mount in the transmission. You're going to have the output shaft sticking out. think it actually mounts like that, but it's going to mount in the transmission right on the output shaft, and then, you know, going to the engine block this way. And this is a part where I was telling you about the dual mass flywheel and how the flywheel, the OE flywheel is thick, while the Monster one is thin, but you're getting a triple disc system going from 2 discs to 3 discs. So now that stack is what I call it, sandwich stack or whatever, gets thicker, kind of compensates. It's not always a perfect fit. This clutch is not always a perfect fit, and you have to measure every time. This is not, don't buy this kit and just put it in and go. You'll probably get lucky that way because of the way they've designed the kit, but it's not a guarantee, and I promise you, you're gonna be pissed if you have to take this thing apart and do it again. So my thing was, last time I called and ordered, they offered the shims. They gave me a link to a website of where I could get them, and there was only 2. So now they've got 3, and they make them in-house. So it's Monster shims made by Monster. Oh, look at this. My gosh. So now we got 4, 5. Wow. So now we got shims for days, and they're all nicely measured. Oh, I like that. That's cool, man. So this one's like 90 thousandths. In case you're wondering, you get 40 thousandths, 63 thousandths, 80 thousandths, 90 thousandths, and 125 thousandths. I will say this, you're not supposed to stack these. He did note that. But as this thing is backed up against the transmission, these things obviously go under. You know, moving the slave cylinder towards the engine block, because what you're measuring is the face, the face of not this ring, but the black, the black plastic part of this slave cylinder. You're compressing it, and you want the distance from the face of this to where the pressure plate is. That distance has to be within a certain range to be considered in spec for this clutch to be working, functioning, and warranted. So keep that in mind, guys. If you want to know the specs, honestly, it's on the website. You've been in the position of watching this video. I really don't think that that's going to be something you want to know. This not being an install video, but these are brand new, worth every freaking penny. This is probably going to be 2/3 of just the shipping alone to get them if you need them. So when you buy the clutch, get them, because like I said, I might have this clutch overhauled next time, or you know, something might wear out or go bad or something, and it might push it out of spec. And now I got like 5 different shims to compensate that slave cylinder distance. So very, very, very cool. I'm wearing gloves. Don't ever touch these clutch with your bare hands. These are made to be bone dry 100% of the time. They are not to have any of your oils or anything that could get on those friction discs or the mating surfaces inside there. I understand I'm not opening this up, but I'm not taking the chance. So I'm just gonna show you, and forgive me, because this thing's freaking heavy. But those of you that wanna know, this is what the 12-pound flywheel looks like. It does have a lot of here, let me flip it around, machining, so you'll be able to see where like there's holes drilled for balancing and, you know, weight being cut out. But I don't want to take it out because you can see the stack, but also see how they got marks on there. So when they put it together, this thing is timed. Whew. I will say this, the aluminum one I had did not have all those nuts and bolts on the back of there, but all right, shipping weight was 65 pounds. I'm sure that was like 55 of it. So the teeth on the flywheel were cut into my hands, but I'm sure there's a specific reason for every little nut and bolt inside there. There has to be, otherwise I know Monster wouldn't do it, but really, really cool. I can't wait. We're gonna be heading down to, I'll just say, we're gonna be going down to Texas. Texas probably might be the next video. We'll see. Comment below if you guys want me to do a video catching you up of all the mods that I've done kind of off camera. They don't really seem to be a big view count, so I don't know if people are interested, but if you guys want, I will catch you up to speed. But until then, we'll catch you guys on the next video. I'll see you guys in Texas. Later.